Hello and welcome to another edition of our exciting and impactful program titled Aligning Education Reforms with National Development. Once again, you are welcome. This is Amaget Communications and I am your host. My name is Daniel Adibi and I'm always super delighted, always super excited to have you even as you join us week in, week out on this program. This is a brand new week. And I'm glad to have you even as we move further into this important conversation about the future of education and its vital connection to the growth and prosperity of nations. So today we'll be exploring an interesting topic, and that topic is aligning education curriculum with industry and workforce needs. So as a way of introduction, we are in an era, and I believe you agree with me, that we are in an era that is defined by rapid technological advancements and shifting economic paradigms. And since we find ourselves in such a very significant era, we have to understand that there is therefore a need for there to be an alignment between educational curriculum and industry requirements, and this has become very paramount, very important. So the disconnect between what is taught in the classrooms and the skills demanded by employers has led to a global skills gap. I would very soon I would give more perspective to what we mean by this global skills gap, or what skills gap is. So this skills gap has been affecting employability and also economic growth. And so in today's session, we'll be diving and delving into the significance of synchronizing educational programs with workforce needs. We'll also be emphasizing the relevance of this synchronization, to the national development goal. How relevant, or what is the need, or what is the effect of this synchronization on national development goals? So come with me as we go further into this edition. Once again, if you are just joining us, you are welcome. And this is Amaget Communications, and today we will be looking at a very distinct topic, which is aligning education curriculum with industry and workforce needs. That in the United States, there are approximately 8 million unfilled jobs. And this highlights the urgency to reform educational systems to meet labor market demands. All right, so finally, according to SME Horizon, it states they have a statistical data that states that only 24% of global workers feel confident that they possess the necessary skills for career advancement in the next 3 years. So this data actually gives us further perspective to understand the need, in fact, the urgent need for there to be an effective synchronization, effective alignment between educational curriculum and workforce needs and labor market demands. All right, so let's quickly see some global perspectives and some global case studies, that depicts and that shows the alignment between educational curriculum and workforce or industry needs. So number one, we'll have to look at the United States. In the United States, we have the P-TECH model. The P-TECH model is the pathway in technology early college high school. That is, the P-TECH is an acronym for the pathways in technology early college high school. It is a model that was initiated by IBM in collaboration with educational institutions in the United States. And this program, or this model, it offers students a 6-year program integrating high school, college, and also professional experience. So graduates can earn both a high school diploma and also an associate degree. And the beauty about this is that it's done within 6 years, and it also helps them to be well positioned for competitive STEM jobs, for competitive science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs that are in those areas. So this model by IBM in collaboration with other educational institutions, it exemplifies successful in industry academic partnerships that are aimed at bridging the skills gap. This model exemplifies successful industry academic partnership that is aimed at bridging the skills gap. Number 2, in India, we have the National Skill Development Mission. So India's National Skill Development Mission aims to train over 400 million people by 2022. It was an initiative that they had that was targeted towards 2022, and their aim then was to train over 400 million people ahead of the year 2022 until by the year 2022. So this initiative focuses on aligning skill development with industry needs and also promoting vocational training and also fostering public-private partnerships. So institutions like the National Skills Development Corporation was established, and it was able to play a pivotal role in this endeavor. And number 3, in Germany, we have something we call the dual education system. Germany's dual education system combines both classroom instruction with hands-on vocational training. So it's actually two-way learning process, two educational process, where students split their time between schooling and also working in a company. And this ensures that they acquire both theoretical knowledge and also hands-on practical skills. It gives them a feel and a view of the labor or the workforce, the nature of the workforce or the labor market and the needs, of the labor market, and they begin to align themselves to fit in properly, and also position themselves and get the requisite skills and knowledge that they need to thrive in that workforce. And we can see that this dual education system has been able to instrumentally maintain low youth unemployment rate in the country. So thanks to this model, the rate of unemployment has been reduced drastically. And finally, in Nigeria, we have something called the Industrial Training Fund, the ITF. So Nigeria's ITF was established in 1971, and it focuses on manpower development through structured training programs. And the ITF, the Industrial Training Fund, it collaborates with industries to design curriculum that meets specific sectorial needs, thereby enhancing the employability of Nigerian youth. All right, so quickly let's look at some strategies for aligning curriculum with industry needs. Number 1 is stakeholder engagement. Number 1 strategy is stakeholder engagement. Regular consultations between educators, industry leaders, and policymakers is important, very, very key and very, very necessary to ensure that curriculums remain relevant and responsive to labor market demands. Number 2 is curriculum flexibility. There is need to be a certain degree of flexibility in the curriculum. Change is constant, change is happening. New things are meant to be learned. So educational institutions should not be too rigid to adapt to these changes. They should be flexible. They should be able to incorporate modular and adaptable course structures that can quickly respond to industry changes and also technological advancement. It is also very important to note that there is need for there to be a balance in creating policies that uphold educational standards, but also allows for contextual flexibility. And that's where we talk about regulatory firmness and regulatory rigidity. Regulatory firmness means having clear, consistent policies that ensure quality and accountability, while regulatory rigidity implies being flexible, stifling innovation and responsiveness to changing industry needs. So the balance lies in creating policies that uphold standards and also allows for contextual flexibility. Number 3, emphasis on soft skills. Beyond technical knowledge, there's need for there to be skills like communication, problem solving, adaptability, and other soft skills. The need for educational institutions to foster, the knowledge of all the skills. It is increasingly valued and it is increasingly necessary in the modern workplace. And number 4, we have work-based learning, in integrating internship or apprenticeship, and real-world projects into academic programs to provide practical experience and industry exposure. This is very, very important. Work-based learning. In Nigeria, we have, the ITF, and we also have something called the CWES, and these are industrial training programs for young people, in the university and tertiary institutions. And number 5, we have continuous professional development. Continuous professional development is another very important strategy for aligning curriculum with industry needs, ensuring educators are updated with current industry practices through training and exposure. Teachers should be trained, and other stakeholders, that are heavily involved in teaching and in providing information, equipping students and learners with information. All these people also need to be trained. They need to be exposed, and this training and exposure will enable them to impart relevant knowledge effectively. Another strategy is the use of technology in education. So there is need for there to be a leverage on digital tools, leveraging digital tools and digital platforms, in order to enhance learning experience. It is very, very important. And it also provides students with exposure to modern technology used in various industries. So it makes them conversant with technology and tools and equipment and machineries and other systems that are also used in other industries. And number 7, which is the final strategy that we're talking about in aligning curriculum with industry needs, is public-private partnership. So public-private partnership should be encouraged. This collaboration between the educational institutions and industries is very, very important. They need to come together to co-develop curriculum and also fund training programs and facilitate knowledge exchange. So there must be a perfect synchronization and alignment between the public and private stakeholders for there to be effective educational curriculum. Moving forward, I would like to talk on the challenges of curriculum alignment. Number 1 challenge is resource constraint. There is limited resources, limited funding, especially in developing countries. There's limited funding and limited infrastructure, and this can hinder the implementation of updated curricula and the integration of technology in education. So resource constraint is one big issue. And number 2 is resistance to change. Institutional inertia and reluctance to modify established curricula can impede the adoption of industry-related educational reforms. So resistance to change. And when we're talking about the strategies for aligning educational curriculum with industry need, we also talk about flexibility, curriculum flexibility. So when educational institutions are resistant to change, that resistance can impede the adoption of industry-relevant educational reforms. Number 3 is rapid technological change. So, like I said in introduction, we're in an era of massive technological change, accelerated technological change, improvement in technology, and also there is actually need for educational institutions to keep pace. But unfortunately, some institutions cannot keep pace with the evolving rate of technology. It's keeping pace with the fast evolving industry requirements also can be challenging, and also necessitating frequent curriculum update and educator training. So there's need for constant training, constant updates, constant integration of new technologies. And some educational institutions, especially in developing countries or underdeveloped countries, it could be a hard time keeping up with the fast pace of evolving technology and industry requirements. So number 4 challenge is the lack of industry academic collaboration. like I mentioned, public-private partnerships. So there's insufficient interaction between educational institutions and industries, and this can lead to a disconnect between academic training and practical skills that are needed in the workplace. Very, very important. There is need for industry academia collaborations. And number 5 is inadequate data on labor market needs. A lack of comprehensive labor market information can make it difficult for educational institutions to tailor programs that meet current and future industry needs, and this can be easily solved by an effective collaboration between industry and academic institutions. And number 6, which is the final challenge that I'll be talking about, is policy and regulatory barriers. Rigid educational policies, rigid educational systems, and rigid accreditation processes can slow down the implementation of necessary curriculum changes that are aligned with industry needs. So policy and regulatory barriers, unnecessary policies, unnecessary barriers should be removed from the way to sponsor and to allow for the implementation of necessary curriculum changes, especially the ones that are aligned with industry needs. So, aligning curriculum with industry and workforce needs can have transformative effects on national development. So, I'll be sharing, even as we move forward, some key resultant effects across economic, social, and educational dimensions. So, the first one is enhanced employability and workforce readiness. So it's the importance or the result of this alignment, is that it can have transformative effect. I want to labor increases productivity across sectors, and the impact is a stronger GDP growth, industrial competitiveness, and innovation. For example, let me give some statistics to back that up. The World Economic Forum in 2023 notes that closing the global skills gap could add $6.5 trillion to global GDP by 2030. So economic growth and productivity is one of has led to an alignment that has made it a tech and innovation hub in Southeast Asia. Number 4 is reduced brain drain. The alignment, has a resultant effect on the nation by reducing brain drain. Talented professionals do not need to go outside the country before they make it or before they are successful. Talented professionals are more likely to find relevant work locally within their country, and the impact of this is the retention of human capital for. Another ripple effect or another resultant effect is stronger public-private partnerships. So when there's stronger public-private, improved national competitiveness is that we see countries with a relevant, skilled workforce. Countries with relevantly skilled workforce perform better in global competitiveness index. And according to the IMD World Competitiveness Ranking shows top-ranked companies often have strong education industry alignment. It states once again that top-ranked countries often have strong education industry alignment, and we can see that play out in countries like Switzerland and in Denmark. Alright, so we've been able to go on a journey today and talk about this topic, which is aligning education curriculum with industry and workforce need. And so far so good. We've been able to understand the skills gap. We've been able to look at some global perspective and case studies. We've also been able to look at some of the strategies for aligning curriculum with industry needs, and we've been able to see the challenges in curriculum alignment. And we've also seen the result and the effects of this alignment across economic, social, and educational dimensions. And this brings us to the end of today's edition. We have said a lot, and please do well to always go back to our videos on YouTube, on our platform at Amogate Radio Communications, and I believe that there are a lot of things you could learn. And we have other programs across the week on Mondays, from Mondays through to Friday. So please do well to join us for any of our programs. So in conclusion, aligning educational curriculum with industry and workforce needs is not merely an academic exercise, but it is a strategic imperative for national development. So by fostering collaborations between educational institutions and industries, nations can ensure their workforce is equipped to meet current and future challenges. As Nelson Mandela aptly stated, education is a powerful tool for change. Therefore, harnessing this tool effectively requires a concerted effort to bridge the existing gaps and pave the way for a prosperous future. Thank you so much for joining us today on the program. It's been a great time. It's been a great conversation. And please do well to join us same time, same platform every Thursday here on YouTube on our platform at Amorgate Radio Communications. And you can also send your feedback, your requests, and your feedback basically to our social media platform. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and our handle is at Amorgate. We'll be looking forward to receiving your questions and your feedback. And for inquiries and collaborations, you can please reach out to us via our email at contact@theamorgate.org, and we'll be there to respond swiftly. So thank you so much for your time. Do have a beautiful week ahead. Bye for now.